The cost of a charter fishing trip or whale watching expedition is about to get more expensive. From July, the fuel tax credit rebate will be reduced for marine transporters by 6 cents a litre. The federal government says the cost should be passed on to customers. But charter operators say they're already struggling to stay afloat, and higher ticket prices could sink their businesses. Tom Forbes has this report.
For 7 years, Bob Clayton has been operating a small charter fishing business on the Gold Coast. He says there's plenty of fish, but the cost of catching them is beginning to bite.
I've just seen our margins, our business, all the things being slowly chipped away.
Marine transport operators have access to fuel tax credits, which allow them to claim a rebate of just over 38 cents per litre. But from July, that'll drop to 32 cents a litre. It's part of the federal government's Clean Energy Future package to apply a carbon price to off-road fuel users.
I'm concerned that this has been aimed at the mining industry and that we're collateral damage. They wanted to gouge more money out of the mining industry, but unfortunately the tourism industry is the innocent bystander in this.
Bob Clayton averages 4 charters a week and burns about 15,000 litres of fuel a year. He estimates the credit reduction will cost him about $5 per charter or $1,000 a year.
If you extrapolate my business to some of the bigger boats, the bigger companies, it could be far bigger than that.
And on the Gold Coast, they don't come much bigger than whale watching boats. This wave-piercing catamaran is propelled by 2 V16 engines. Owner Bruce Nichols says his monthly fuel bill exceeds $40,000 and the 6 cents per litre credit reduction will hurt.
Originally, when I came into business about 22 years ago, it was the subsidy was about 1/3 of the price of diesel, and over the years it's been eroded away.
The crew is preparing for the whale migration season. The business owner is banking on bumper crowds to offset the increased costs.
It's just another burden to small business, and when you're running big plant and equipment like we do, our whale watching it's a large boat business really, and it really has a significant effect.
Fishing and whale watching charters aren't the only businesses to be affected, and many operators are unaware of the changes.
There's been no industry consultation on these charges. There's been no effort to engage with industry, to inform industry. With 2 months to go before its implementation, people are only finding out about it now and are horrified.
Marine volunteer organisations will also lose the 6 cents per litre rebate. They can't pass on the extra costs to customers, but they can access a $23 million government support program to help soften the blow.
According to the government, we're going to pass these costs on to the customer. However, at this stage, times are tight. We're really struggling to get clients anyway.
The Federal Climate Change Minister Greg Combet says Treasury modelling has found there will only be a small increase in the cost of transport, and that will be factored into the government's household assistance package, which will deliver tax cuts, increases to family benefits and higher pension allowances. Bruce Nichols started the first whale watching business on the Gold Coast. Over the years, humpback numbers have grown and so has the number of tourist boats. The veteran operator says he needs the fuel rebate.
That really will have an effect on us. We do rely on that subsidy.
It's a competitive industry and many customers base their decision on price.
We can't afford to put our prices up. We actually have to reduce prices now to remain competitive as things get tighter and tighter.
Bob Clayton says he's in the same boat.
Our tourist industry, especially here at the Gold Coast, has shrunk for obvious reasons, the dollar being higher, the global financial crisis that should be well and truly past, but it's still having these effects. But how do we pass it on?
Not all marine businesses will be affected by the introduction of an effective carbon tax. Commercial fishermen have slipped through the net.
We're seeing the charter industry die at the moment through the death of 1,000 cuts. We've had closures to our fishing areas through green zones, increased fuel costs, reduction in visitation from overseas. This is just another straw that could break the camel's back for many operators.
It may be the tipping point for some businesses. I'm fortunate, I have a successful business, but I'm sure if there are some that are close to the edge, it could easily tip them over.
Charter operators say the increased operating costs will devalue their businesses, and all they can see are rough seas ahead.
This is the start of the carbon price. Once the carbon price is floated, then it could finish up anywhere. So there's an incredible lack of confidence in the future of the industry with this sort of open-ended expense.